You send a message. You wait and wait. And then, nothing. No reply, no reaction, no acknowledgement. And somehow, that silence feels like a knife. Why does being ignored hurt so much? Why does your brain treat silence like an attack? The answer goes deeper than you think. And it starts about 200,000 years ago. For most of human history, humans lived in small tribes. In those tribes, everyone knew each other. Everyone had a role. Everyone mattered. Being ignored by the group wasn't just uncomfortable. It was a death sentence. No tribe meant no food, no shelter, no protection. Being ignored meant you were being removed from the group, and removal meant death. Your brain learned this lesson and never forgot it. So it built an alarm system, a system specifically designed to detect social exclusion and to respond with immediate pain. Scientists call this the social pain network. And here is the part that changes everything. The social pain network is the exact same network as physical pain. Not similar, not nearby, the exact same regions. When you get ignored, your brain processes it the same way it processes being physically hurt. Being ignored literally hurts, not metaphorically, biologically. Researcher Naomi Eisenberger ran a study called Cyberball. Participants played a simple ball-tossing game online with what they thought were other players. At some point, the other players stopped throwing the ball to them. Just a simple online game. No real relationship, no real stakes. And yet, brain scans showed the exact same pain response as physical injury. Just being left out of a digital ball game caused measurable brain pain. Your brain does not know the difference between a game and real life, between a stranger ignoring you and someone you love ignoring you. It just knows. I was excluded, and it fires the alarm every single time. But it gets darker. Researchers discovered that being ignored activates something called the threat response. Your body goes into a version of fight or flight. Cortisol floods your system. Heart rate increases. Attention narrows to focus entirely on the threat. And what is the threat? An unanswered message. A friend who didn't wave back. A meeting where no one asked your opinion. Your ancient brain cannot distinguish between these things and actual danger. So it responds to all of them with the same intensity. Now here is where your brain does something truly strange. When you are ignored, your brain doesn't just feel pain. It starts trying to explain why. And almost always, it blames you. This is called the internal attribution bias. When bad things happen, your brain defaults to asking, what did I do wrong? Not maybe they're busy. Not maybe their phone died. Not maybe something happened to them. No, it goes straight to, they hate me. I did something wrong. I am the problem. This happens because your brain is a prediction machine. It is constantly building models of the world to predict what comes next. And when someone's behavior breaks the model, someone who normally replies suddenly goes silent, your brain panics. A broken prediction feels like a threat. So your brain scrambles to fix the model, to find an explanation that makes the world predictable again. And the fastest explanation is always, I caused this. Because if you caused it, you can fix it. And if you can fix it, you are not powerless. Self-blame feels better than randomness. Your brain would rather be guilty than confused. Think about the last time someone didn't reply to you. How long did you spend thinking about it? How many explanations did you run through? How quickly did your brain land on the worst possible interpretation? This is your brain working exactly as designed, but designed for a world that no longer exists. Now let's talk about what chronic social exclusion actually does to your brain over time. Because being occasionally ignored is uncomfortable. But being chronically ignored, at work, at home, in friendships, rewires your brain. Studies show that people who experience chronic social exclusion develop hypervigilance. Their brain becomes permanently set to detect rejection signals, even when none exist. A neutral tone of voice becomes a threat. A late reply becomes evidence of hatred. A moment of silence in conversation becomes proof of rejection. Their threat response becomes a hair trigger, always firing, rarely accurate. And here is the cruelest part. Chronic exclusion physically shrinks parts of your brain. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for rational thinking and emotional regulation, gets smaller, which means the very part of your brain that could talk you down from irrational fear gets weaker the more you are excluded. The more ignored you feel, the less able your brain becomes to handle being ignored. It is a perfectly designed trap. But wait, why does your brain care so much about other people's opinions in the first place? You probably tell yourself you don't care what people think. Almost everyone does. Almost no one is telling the truth. Your brain is fundamentally wired for connection, not as a preference, as a biological need. Studies show that social connection activates the same reward circuits as food when you're hungry, and social isolation activates the same distress circuits as starvation. Your brain treats loneliness like hunger. It hurts. It demands to be addressed. It gets worse the longer it goes unmet. And just like real hunger, it can make you desperate. Desperate people make poor social decisions, which leads to more rejection, which leads to more pain, which leads to more desperation. It is a spiral your brain did not intend to create, but one it is very good at maintaining. Now, can any of this be changed? The answer is yes, but not in the way most people expect. The first thing to understand is that your reaction to being ignored is not weakness. It is biology. 200,000 years of evolution built this response. You did not choose it. You cannot simply decide not to feel it, but you can change how you respond to it. The first technique? Name the process. When you feel the pain of being ignored, say to yourself, "My social alarm is firing. This is ancient pain. This is biology. This is not truth." Naming the process activates your prefrontal cortex. The rational brain comes back online. The alarm gets quieter. Not silent, but quieter. The second technique, question the story. Your brain told you a story. They ignored you because you're not worth responding to. Ask, what is the actual evidence for this? Usually, there is none. List 3 other explanations that are equally possible. They're busy. Their phone is dead. They forgot. Your brain will resist this. It prefers the dramatic story, but you can insist on evidence. The third technique, regulate the body first. Remember, being ignored triggers a physical threat response. Your body is in mild fight or flight. You cannot think your way out of a body state. You have to move through it. Take a slow breath in for 4 counts, hold for 4, out for 6. 3 rounds of this and your cortisol begins to drop. The alarm becomes manageable. The story your brain tells loses some of its power. And then, and only then, you can think clearly about what actually happened. The fourth technique, build social resilience. Social resilience means having multiple sources of connection in your life, not depending on one person or one group for all of your belonging needs. When you have diverse connection, one person ignoring you doesn't threaten your entire social existence. Your brain's alarm fires less intensely because you have evidence, real, lived evidence that you are connected and valued. The alarm says you are excluded. Your lived experience says by one person temporarily. That distinction changes everything. The dark truth about why your brain hates being ignored is this: it was built to need people. Deeply, biologically, desperately need people. And when that need goes unmet, even briefly, even by a stranger, even in a video game, it screams. Not because you are weak, not because you are too sensitive, but because you are human. And being human means being wired for each other. The next time someone ignores you and you feel that sharp, immediate pain, remember, that is 200,000 years of evolution telling you that you matter, that connection matters, that you were built to belong. If this video made you feel a little less alone, that was the point. Like and subscribe if your brain immediately thought of someone who's been ignoring you.